Cheap SUVs usually come with a warning label, and that label is repairs. But some rigs are reliable. They go longer if you buy the right year. We're counting down 11 dirt cheap SUVs that can hit 500,000 miles, with simple checks that keep you safe. Want the truth? Secret list. Stay tuned. Number 11. Ford Escape Hybrid. This boring little SUV stays cheaper because it looks plain, but it keeps stacking miles while flashier rides beg for repair time. In the garage, we see commuters who run routes, mix highway and city, and want simple, reliable costs without constant fuel stops. The sweet spot is 2009 through 2012, with the 2.5 Atkinson Hybrid and an electronically controlled eCVT, a proven setup built for stop-and-go life. Real-world numbers matter. About 32 miles per gallon combined, with a 15.1-gallon tank, so range feels longer and cheaper to feed. New price back then started around $25,000 and climbed into the low $33,000 range, but used today you can still find them cheaper in the mid-$4,000s up to about $6,000 to $7,000 if the story is clean. That is the gap. Same money as a non-hybrid compact that drinks more. Yet this one pays you back every week with calmer, steady fuel costs. It is better for commuting and errands, and it is not great for towing or for buyers who panic about older batteries. Start warm and confirm the hybrid system shows no warning lights, and it feels smooth and stable. Check coolant condition and hose seepage, because heat is warning damage. Scan tire wear for feathering, because alignment neglect turns costly and hidden. Crank the air conditioning hard, because weak cooling becomes summer misery. If this feels too sensible, good, because next is a Toyota that is cheap for a simple reason and takes miles like a tool. Number 10. Toyota RAV4. This one is cheaper because it is ultra-normal, and normal is how you get a longer life without drama. We see buyers chase a turbo deal, then come back saying they want something that starts and stays reliable. Target 2010 through 2012, with the basic 2.54 cylinder, a conventional automatic, and a 15.9-gallon tank. A proven, simple combo that avoids fancy headaches. Fuel economy sits around 24 miles per gallon combined, so weekly driving feels calmer and cheaper. New price for a 2010 start at around $24,000. While used today, many land around $8,000 up to $10,000 or $11,000, depending on miles and condition. The value gap shows up fast, because people overpay for whichever same year CRV listing looks cleaner, not whichever drivetrain is simpler. It is better for low-stress ownership and easy parts, and it is not ideal for towing heavy or for buyers craving a silent cabin. Do a cold start and listen for a clean idle, because rough running signals damage and neglect. Drive it warm and confirm shifts feel stable and predictable, not harsh or delayed. Check oil level and smell, because burnt oil is warning damage. Inspect the rear hatch area and spare tire well for water, because leaks create costly rust. Next up is the big American SUV that looks like a fuel bill, but the right years can be a strong bargain. Number 9. Chevrolet Tahoe. This full-size SUV goes cheaper because fuel scares people, but the right old-school setup can run like a workhorse for years. The family guy in our bay needs real space, wants a simple V8, and refuses modern cylinder gimmicks that feel riskier and costly. We point at 2003 through 2006 with the 5.3 V8, the 4-speed automatic, and the big 26-gallon tank, a proven durable layout built for hauling. Yes, you trade fuel for muscle, about 15 miles per gallon combined, but towing and loading feel strong and steady. New price for a 2006 started around $40,000, yet used today, often you can still land one around $4,000 to $5,000, maybe $5,000 to $6,000, if rust and neglect are not hiding underneath. That price gap is shocking, crazy, the same money as a tiny crossover with no power, but this gives full-size seating and real trailer confidence. It is better for space and simple V8 life, and it is not great for city fuel savings or tight parking. Drive it warm and make sure the transmission does not slip, because repairs get painful and costly. Inspect the underbody for frame rust and brake line rot, because structure and safety matter. Test 4. Wheel drive engagement and listen for clunks, because worn parts mean damage and bills. Check the cooling system condition and fan operation, because overheating history is engine damage. If you want rugged and cheaper, next is the Nissan, that got overlooked after the market moved on, and the right years avoid the famous milkshake painful, If this garage-saving breakdown helps, subscribe. We hunt cheaper SUVs, target proven years, and give quick checks that keep your purchase secure today, always. Number 8. Nissan Xterra. This tough-looking SUV is cheaper because it is old school, and old school can be reliable when you buy the right years. In the garage, it is the guy who wants truck toughness without truck prices, and he is fine with some road noise if the drivetrain feels honest and strong. Aim for 2011 through 2015 if you want the automatic, because earlier years get tied to radiator and transmission cross-contamination talk, and we do not gamble when the fix is avoidable. The core hardware is simple and durable. A 4.0 V6, a 5-speed automatic, a 21.1-gallon tank, and towing up to 5,000 pounds in common trims, so it can handle real weekend work. New price on a 2012 started around $27,000, but used today, you can still find them around $6,500 up to about $10,000 depending on trim and condition. Compare it to Wrangler money, and you see the trap. People pay for image, then pay again in repairs. While this gives capable confidence with fewer surprises, it is better for basic off-road use and rugged miles, and it is not great on fuel or on fancy tech. Check transmission fluid color and smell, because burnt fluid is warning damage. Look for rear hatch leaks and wet carpet, because water creates costly electrical trouble. Test for wheel drive high and low engagement in a safe spot, because binding is hidden damage. Scan tire wear and wheel rash, because big tires get expensive fast. If this one fits your life, the next pick is a compact Honda that looks like a grocery getter, but it can stack miles like a delivery route for guys who want miles, not drama. Number 7. Honda CR-V Reliable Value. This SUV stays cheaper because nobody brags about it, and that is why the best ones get kept for years. In the shop, we see 200,000-mile CR-Vs that still feel smooth, and the owner is only annoyed about tires and brakes, not engines. The sweet spot is 2007 through 2011 with the simple 2.44 cylinder and the 5-speed automatic, because simple hardware lasts longer when you keep fluids clean. You get a 15.3-gallon tank and about 21 city and 28 highway miles per gallon, so weekly driving stays calmer and cheaper. When new, a 2011 CR-V started around $23,000, but used today, clean ones often sit around $8,000 to $10,000, depending on miles and condition, a cheaper buy that stays reliable. This Honda is better for errands and commuting, but it is not built for big towing or bragging rights. Do a cold start and listen for belt squeal or oil seepage, because small leaks become damage costly later. Take a warm drive and confirm the transmission stays stable with no flare, because a hunted shift is a warning sign. Test the air conditioning on max cold and cycle blower speeds, because weak cooling becomes summer misery. Finally, check the rear suspension and underbody for rusty spots in salt states, because structure is safety. If you like boring that works, the next SUV is the expensive cheap one. Rich inside, but quieter than you expect. Number 6. Lexus RX 350. Quiet comfort. This is the luxury SUV that gets cheaper because people fear luxury repairs, and this one usually refuses that game. We see buyers cross-shop a German badge, then drive an RX and feel relief, because the ride stays plush and the cabin stays quieter. Target 2010 through 2013 with the 3.5 V6 and a conventional automatic, because that combo is proven reliable. A WD versions run about 18 city and 24 highway miles per gallon with a 19.2-gallon tank, so range stays solid longer. When new, a 2010 RX started around $46,000, but used today, many land around $10,000. A cheaper path into reliable comfort, and private party deals can sit in the high 7,000s to 9,000 range. The value gap is real, because a high-mile Q5 or X3 can cost similar money yet bring more complex parts that age into painful. The Lexus is better for quiet highway miles and day-long comfort, but it is not the pick for heavy towing or cheap brake bills. Check service history first, because a clean record is proof and a patchy record is risky. Test the liftgate, camera, and screen functions, because glitches turn into annoying stress. Do a warm drive and watch for surging or flat spots, because power delivery should feel consistent steady. Inspect tire wear and brake feel, because those bills hit costly and get expensive. If this Lexus surprised you, The next SUV looks scary at the pump, but it can tow and haul for cheaper smart money. Subscribe for Garage Truth. We compare actual prices, call out bad years, and give simple inspection steps that keep your wallet secure today, right now. Number 5. Nissan Armada. Bigger muscle. This full-size SUV gets dumped cheaper because of fuel fear, not because it is fragile, and that fear creates value. In the garage, we meet the guy who needs space and towing, hates minivans, and wants something that feels solid every morning. Target 2011 through 2013 with the 5.6 V8 and 5-speed automatic, because that drivetrain is strong, reliable, and straightforward. It makes about 317 horsepower, can tow up to 9,000 pounds when equipped, and carries a 28-gallon tank, a bigger muscle setup built for distance. New price, around 2011, started near $39,000, but used today many examples sit around $5,000 to $8,000 depending on miles and history. A cheaper bargain. The Armada is better for big hauling and towing, but it is not great for tight parking or city-only driving. On the test drive, feel for driveline vibration at light throttle, because that can be a warning damage sign. Check brake feel and rotor pulse, because heavy SUVs eat brakes, and that gets expensive. Listen for front-end clunks and inspect tires for uneven wear, because alignment issues cost money and get costly. Then test power seats, windows, and locks, because electrical fixes are annoying and get expensive. Next is the family option that feels smooth, and the V6 years can be the sweet spot. Number 4. Toyota Highlander. V6 family value. This is the family SUV people buy, then keep so long the kids learn to drive in it, because the basics stay reliable longer. We see high-mile Highlanders come in for fluids, tires, and brakes, and that is it, which is how 500,000 happens with Proven Care. Target 2011 through 2013 with the 3.5 V6 and a conventional automatic, because that setup is proven simple and easy to service. A WD versions run about 17 city and 22 highway miles per gallon, with a 19.2-gallon tank, so fuel stops feel calmer and cheaper. When new, a 2012 Highlander started around $32,000, but used today, clean ones often sit around $9,000 to $12,000, depending on trim and condition, a cheaper value. Compare it to newer 3-rows with small turbos, and you get the point. They may feel newer, but they can age into costly warning surprises. The Highlander is better for family duty and calm driving, but it is not sporty, and it is not built for serious towing. Keep oil changes consistent, keep coolant fresh, and the V6 stays happy past 300,000 miles easily. If you hear a wheel, bearing hum at 60 miles an hour, price it now, because ignoring it turns cheaper into expensive. Check coolant level and look for dried residue, because heat kills engines and that damage is expensive. On a warm drive, confirm shifts feel smooth and braking feels stable, because a rough stop is a safety issue. Test rear air conditioning and all fan speeds, because weak rear airflow becomes summer misery. Finally, inspect tire wear closely, because alignment hides hidden costly money inside cheap deals. Next up is an even tougher option, and it is where people get surprised by how longer a boring SUV can last today. Number 3. Honda Pilot. This one is cheaper because it looks like every other family SUV, and that normal look is your secret advantage. In the garage, we meet road trip families who want 3 rows, real comfort, and a truck that stays reliable without daily worry. The sweet spot is 2011 through 2015, because you still get the 3.5 V6 with a conventional automatic, not a complicated experiment. It carries about 21 gallons of fuel, and on the right setup, Honda rates towing up to 4,500 pounds, so it can handle a small camper without feeling stressed. New, a 2011 Pilot started around $30,000, but used today, clean drivers often sit around $7,000 to $8,000, with nicer trims landing in the low 8s if miles are reasonable and records are strong. That price gap is why this Pilot wins, because for the same money, a luxury badge SUV can look cooler, but parts and labor can turn into expensive pain fast. The Pilot is better for space and daily life, but it is not great on fuel, and sloppy maintenance turns any deal into damage. Your checklist is simple and serious. Listen over bumps for suspension clunks, especially sway bar links, because noises are negotiation and silence is proof. Tap the infotainment, confirm the camera works, and make sure every button responds, because slow tech becomes annoying on day 2. Look for oil leaks around the engine. Then read the service history, because proven records matter more than shiny paint. Do a warm drive and confirm there is no shudder, no harsh shifting, and no warning lights, because those signs mean costly repairs. One more reliable habit: ask when the timing belt and water pump were last done, because skipped belt service can become catastrophic damage. Also, check power steering effort and look for fluid seepage, because leaks turn cheaper into expensive fast. If it passes, this is a family SUV that can stack miles like a work tool. And if you think this is plain, wait for the next one, because it is body-on-frame tough, and people forget it even exists. Number 2. Nissan Pathfinder. This SUV got cheaper because the name later changed into a different kind of vehicle, and buyers stopped paying attention. In the shop, the Pathfinder buyer needs 7 seats sometimes, wants real SUV bones, and wants to avoid the later CVT drama that can turn a bargain into misery. We target 2011 to 2012 because you get the older style with the 4.0 V6 and a 5-speed automatic, and that setup is simple, durable, and easy for any shop to understand. The fuel tank is about 21.1 gallons, and when equipped, it can tow about 6,000 pounds, so it works for boats, trailers, and weekend hauling, without acting fragile. New, a 2012 Pathfinder started around $32,000, but used today many land around $6,000, with cleaner trims sitting around $8,000 when rust is low, and the story is calm. The value gap is obvious because the same money buys a worn 3-row crossover with thin tires and tired brakes, while this one gives you more traditional hardware. It is better for towing and rough roads than many crossovers, but it is not great on gas, and the interior tech feels older, so you buy it for strength, not fashion. Confirm 4-wheel drive engages, and the truck does not bind or clunk, because driveline noises are a warning of damage. Crawl underneath and inspect frame points and brake lines for rusty spots because structure is safety. Drive it fully warm and watch cooling stability, because overheating history is engine damage. Then study tire wear, because big tire sets get expensive, and uneven wear tells the truth about alignment. Also, check the radiator and look for clean coolant, because dirty fluid is a warning of neglect. Check rear hatch struts and door locks, because failures become annoying quickly. This V6 uses a timing chain, so you avoid belt jobs. A simple value win. If this one looks like a tank, good, because number 1 is where people argue with us until they see how often this Toyota goes the distance with fewer breakdown stories. Number 1. Toyota 4Runner. This is the SUV that is not always the cheapest to buy, but it is often the cheapest to own when you keep vehicles for the longer game. In the garage, we see the same pattern. A guy buys one, hits 200,000 miles and stops shopping because it keeps showing up every morning, calm and reliable. Target 2006 through 2009 with the 4.0 V6 and a conventional 5-speed automatic, because this body-on-frame setup is proven and built for abuse. The tank is about 23 gallons, EPA numbers sit around 16 city and 21 highway, and towing is commonly 5,000 pounds, so you get real capability without fancy tricks. New, a 2008 4Runner, started around $34,000, but used today, you can still find them around $6,000 to $7,000 for rougher drivers, and $10,000 to $11,000 for cleaner examples, because Toyota resale stays strong. The price gap is the trade because the same money can buy a European SUV that feels nicer for 5 minutes, then turns into expensive repairs, while the 4Runner keeps rolling with basic care. It is better for long-term toughness and bad roads, but it is not great on fuel, and you may pay a Toyota premium up front, so you must buy smart. First, check the frame and underbody for rusty rot, because structure is life and rust is final. Do a warm drive and confirm shifts are smooth with no driveline vibration, because that is the difference between a keeper and a project. Test 4. Wheel drive functions if equipped, and confirm the transfer case engages cleanly, because binding means damage. Then look for maintenance proof, because oil habits decide longer life, and missing records are risky. Check front ball joints and steering boots, because worn parts create vibration and tire wear quickly. This is the shortlist reset, because the market still confuses popular with smart, and that confusion is where we buy better and drive longer. Before you leave, subscribe. We break down reliable SUVs, show strong years, and help you avoid expensive repairs with a checklist on every test drive. Click the next video on your screen. We show the best years to target, the years to avoid, and the quick checks that keep cheap SUVs from becoming expensive regrets.